Morning. So do we remember last lesson, the representatives? That if we knew what 4, 5 and 6 were, we could put those amounts together. Okay, so let's extend this to finish off this little exercise. You can understand how these are kind of the kind of questions that have got lots of words in. So word questions tend to be the ones that are higher level stuff. So we've got in 2015, 6% of the people forced to flee their homes were hosted by countries in Europe. This represented approximately 4 million people. So before we look at the rest of the question, what has been told us? What have we been told there?
6%.
Yeah, we've been told that 6% is equal to 4 million people. That's the information we got from that. So, using the same process as before, you should be able to answer the rest of those questions. Let's see if you can remember. What you are going to do now is answer. So, use the to approximate the number of people represented by the following percentages. So, if you know 6% is 4 million, 12% will be an amount of people. 30% will be an amount of people. And then finally 39%. So basically it's the same kind of questions we did previously, but now with a number involved.
Do we have to explain how we got to that one?
What's the number? 39, yes. So for instance, 12% is 2 lots of 6%. So that means we're doing 2 lots of 4 million, which is 8 million. Do that one for you. Rest, probably get on with yourself. Okay, just to check one. So 30%. Well, if I know 6% is 4 million and I know my times tables, 30% is 5 lots of whatever 6% is. So that's going to be 5 times 4 million, which is 20 million. Okay. 15% is?
You take 30% and then times it by 4 5. Divide it by 2.
So 30%, but I'm going to divide by 2. So that's 20 million. Divide by 2 is 10 million. Did anyone figure out 39%?
Well, I took 30%,
Right.
and then added 6%.
30% plus 6%.
And then I added 30% divided by 10. 6. I don't know if you
Plus
30%.
30% that gets divided by 10. Because that's 3%. Could have just done 6% divided by 2 as well. Depends who you are. So what does that mean? Well, we know that 30% is 20 million, plus 6% we know is 4 million, plus 30% divided by 10, well that's 20 divided by 10, which is 2. So 20 plus 4 plus 2 makes 26 million. Okay. Did you get all those right? Write it down then. Because that's quite a fundamental skill to have. So is everyone clear how to do that one now?
always times it to 100% and then just divide it.
If the numbers work, yeah.
Yeah, if you could, if it's
The thing is, like, the reason why this one is a nice question, because if I say you're not allowed calculators, right? What a lot of people always with percentages, they just say, oh, well, I'm going to find out what 1% is. And then that enables you to get to everything, yeah? Now, 1% is 6% divided by 6. Well, that would be 4 divided by 6, which is 0.66666 recurring. Or 2/3, 0.666. And that's not a nice and easy one. And I would be rounding. So if this was 12 times 1%, that would be 12 times 0.66666, and so on. If you did that in your head, you might be struggling. Okay? So it's the whole question, it's like, yes, we could go down to 1% and then just multiply up. Does that make sense to everyone what I just said there? But it's not always the easiest when I've not got a calculator. I might end up rounding answers to get them in practice. Sorry, people, what's up? All right, so has everyone got any questions on those? No? Okay. Over to you then. Yeah. Can you not see that? I've taken it out of the book, so the page isn't quite there. It's not. I'll tell you afterwards. So, as of January 2017, it just puts it in context, really. Doesn't really matter what year in this question. Canada had taken in approximately 40,000 Syrian refugees. Approximately 15,000 of these refugees were sponsored privately by individual Canadians who formed small groups of citizens to finance the refugees' first year in Canada. What percentage of the refugees were sponsored by private citizens? So we just need to take the main bits, which are, there was a total of 40,000. So, and there were 15,000 of those that were sponsored. So we've got 15,000 out of 40,000. But this symbol, I want it as what percentage? Percent means for every 100. So it's 15,000 in 40,000, but I want to know how many people in 100. So one way to do that is to write it as its fraction. And then can we simplify that fraction down to being something over 100 without turning it into a decimal first? What would you do?
I would knock out.
I'm not allowing you to cross out zeros without telling me what that's doing.
Oh, well, if you divide both sides by 10.
Okay, so if we do divide by, I'm actually going to divide by 1,000. Why 1,000? Because there's 3. So I'm going to divide top and bottom by 1,000. If I do the same, I get an equivalent fraction. So that would make it 15 divided by 40. Okay. Everyone okay with that so far? Yeah? Lots of no response, nothing. Do I take that to mean you're good or you're not good? Or doesn't it matter to you? Just wait till you get to the test. Do I assume we're good? Yeah? Okay, we need to get that to 100, but can't yet. What would you do? Without a calculator, yes. So you're not allowed a decimal in a fraction as an end result, but you can use a decimal in the fraction while you're working stuff out. What numbers multiply up to 100 really nicely? The factors of 100, right? What are the factors of 100 that are nice? So 5, 10, 4, 25, 20. So if we can get that to be, the denominator to be n of those numbers, we'd be laughing, yeah? We can then get up to 100, right? So I look at that and I think, oh, 20 is a nice one because I just divide by 2. And then 20 up to 100 is times by 5. So I can do the same to the top. So 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. Now that's a decimal in a fraction. We don't like that, but we're not going to stick with that. So what we've got to do is times by 5. 7.5 times 5.
Wait.
Do you all know how to do that without a calculator? Yes. Just test them. 7 point. So what I do is I'm just going to do 75 times 5, and I know my answer has 1 decimal place. Did you use it before? 70 times is 25, carry the 2. 5 times 7 is 35, plus the 2 is 37. So I've got 37.5. So as a percentage it is? Yes. Yes, I know, you use your calculator. So I'm testing that you understand this approach. The easy way would just have been to do 15 divided by 40 and you get 0.375, and you do that times 100 and you get 37.5. But I need you to kind of understand both approaches. Last here, this bit or this bit. Yes, please. If you write that down, that'd be lovely in your notes. I'm recording, so go on. So did you do this bit first? Oh. Well, I would say 10% of 40,000 is 4,000. Okay, 25% is 10,000, yeah. Okay, so then I know 5,000 therefore must equal half of that, which is 12.5%. So add those together means adding that and that. So 25% plus 12.5% is 37.5%.
I was doing this one. I wasn't doing 50,000. I was doing the other.
A different question.
Yeah, no, I was doing pretty much. I was doing the 25,000. I wasn't doing 15,000.
Why did
I was doing the one that they did. I was doing the 25. I was like that kind of sponsor.
Were sponsored.
Oh yeah.
Were sponsored. So you were doing the ones that were not.
So I'm doing on.
But that's no, I mean, how about the rest of you? Do you get this as a method as well? It wasn't the one that sprung to mind immediately, but that's fine. If you would like to use that sort of method, it came up with the right answer, it used good understanding. You all see what he did there? Yeah? It's nice if you can see that 37 point, like, if you know 15,000 and 10% would be 4,000 and so on, and you can see I could make the 15,000, that's the way to do it. But you've got three methods now. Obviously, this method kind of fastest if I've got a calculator. I mean, I could even do 50. Do you all know how to do long division with that?
Yep.
Yeah? You could potentially just do that.
Yes.
We do a. Okay. I wanted to just quickly. This practice is kind of what I've got on Teams for you in a sec. So let's just have a look a couple of these first. Now we're not doing them all, so don't rush ahead. I want to do a couple. So this isn't on the computer. I've got something else that's on the computer that's like this. So we're gonna. Which one should we do? I'm gonna do B with you. Okay. So we've got to write that fraction as a percentage. How do you do it? So we've got 17 divided by 20. How do you do that using the method B? Multiply it by 5. 20 is one of those nice ones. So that gives me out of 100. 17 times 5 is 50, and 35 makes 85. So that's 85%. So you can write that. Which of these are easy to go up to 100 and why? Is that easy?
Yes.
Times by 50. Well, half is 50, anyway. 10 is times by 10. 5 is times by
20.
50 is times by 4 is times by. It's not a race. Let people have a think. 25 gets times by 4. 20 times by 25 times by 50 times by. It's not a race. So all of those are considered nice and easy. I would do it that way instead of using my calculator. Right, so here, the next question is considered more difficult because these numbers don't go straight. So you have to do what we did with the other ones up there. So can I get you to pick one each? A different one of each person on the table and do it. Tell you the answers. Well, you decide on your table. I'll knock your table. Do a different one and just do it now.
But I already choose.
A is 50% done. So we can't do that one. Pick a different one. Okay, should we have a look at 12 out of 30 then? Did anyone do that one? No? So let me talk you through this one as another example then. So 12 out of 30 as a percentage. So we're not allowed calculators for it. So what I would do, think about the numbers that do multiply up to 100 or even down to 100. Okay? But I know that 30 divides into go down to 10 really easily. So I'm going to divide that by 3, which means I need to do the same to the 12, which means that would be 4. And then, because I want it up to 100, I need to multiply by 10. It's now easy to do, yeah? Times, but why do I say 4? I mean 10. So that would be 40. And therefore it's...
Or something different. I just like divide by 6 which then is like I don't know, and then I multiplied to like something, and then I don't
5
know.
by 6 gives me 2 bits.
Then I multiplied that by
Same thing. 40 over gives me 40. Yeah, I could have gone 12, 30. I could have multiplied by 10. And that would have given me 120 over 300. And then I divide by 3. Gives
you
me
could have just
40 over 100. You didn't get it? Write it down. This percent.
Oh, Jesus.